Okay, so welcome. Today on our call, we're going to talk about branding. And we've been talking about this for the last few calls. And I'm going to go over why I think it's really important, okay? Because I've had a brand, but I don't feel like my brand has a culture. And I feel like it has the word mom in it, so I was attracting moms. They would just click like because said I'm mom, they're moms. But I really see how narrowing in your focus and identifying a brand that truly is who you are makes connecting with people and finding people coming to you so much easier. And when that happens, it's up to you, obviously, to connect with them. The connection part is the key. And then you have to, once you've connected with them, build that trust with them, invite them. So there's a process if you're working to try and find people out there in the social media world. There's an art to it. Again, I signed up for a social media class from Jesse Reagan, and that class is going to help me market Facebook ads. So as I learn more from the class, I'll share. So the very first step, in that stuff that I'm doing is to identify your brand and to have a voice. So I'm going to be just totally honest with you guys. I am not an expert at all. Ooh, Purist. Okay. That was the other one. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm going to look at some of these, and I can show you an easy way that you can look at some of these too. I'm not an expert in this field. In fact, I struggle sometimes because I don't know who I am. I know who I want to be, but that's not necessarily who I am. And so then I have this whole big ugh. But in reading something, Gretchen shared me hers. She said hers was the hero. And I went and I looked at it, and I'm like, okay, oh my God, this totally, I can see how that's Gretchen. Now, maybe she could be other things too. I get it. But I'll just read you some of the characteristics on it. Hold on. When I looked at the hero, let's see if I can find the hero. That's regular girl. Courageous. I think this is the hero. Yeah, the hero. Let's see. What does it mean? What's your brand when you're the hero? You love the feeling of triumph. You're courageous and you love a good challenge. You challenge yourself constantly. You reflect this in your brand by being inspiring to everyone you touch. You help your audience develop energy, discipline, focus, and determination. Okay, I totally can relate to that. But, and one time I got the hero. But again, I took it 4 times. So prove your worth by being courageous. Improve the world in a masterful way. Your strategy is to become as strong and competent and powerful as you can. And then you inspire your tribe with how you've overcome your own challenges, and you show them that they too can be strong. Okay, when I think about that, I go, okay, yeah, I totally can see Gretchen doing that. I know her story, and proof in this, and I want to share this example because in the last week and a half, Gretchen, set up a like page, put her story out there, joined a bunch of groups, and started connecting with people who have similar interests based on her, who she is, okay? And I'm going to share it just a little bit without getting in too deep. But Gretchen had a special needs child that was born that she lost, and that is a huge place in her heart. And she has been dedicating years of her life to make an impact, and that is who she is. And so as this hero brand, you can see how that part of her fits right in. And she's been able to get out there and get uncomfortable. I know she's had to get vulnerable, and I don't think that was easy, but she's been sharing her story and connecting with people. And she's like, wow, I really, and I'll let her talk for a second because I think it's powerful. But to hear how just that change in the last week and a half, I mean, she's been working for the last 3-4 years at coaching. So she's really done a lot of pre-work to understand what we do, how we do, what the offerings are, what we, how to work the system. She's a smart girl. But just by changing her focus and really opening up and connecting, I feel like she's made these relationships and she's able to impact more lives on a different level. Gretchen, do you want to share just a second? Because I feel like as each person gets into their brand and starts to identify more on who they are, a narrower focus, they'll have the same success. So just, if you don't mind, just talking for a second.
Yeah, I guess I would say the biggest thing that was holding me back from doing that was simply fear. And once I identified that, I guess the hero brand makes sense because I won't let anything that scares me master me. I mean, I'm afraid of heights, so while we were on the cruise, I climbed a rock wall, I mean, it's just the way I live because I don't like anything to make my choices for me. So that's why what I went through was so hard because I had almost no choices. Then I ran into the situation where on the cruise I was talking to people and they were saying, you know, you really ought to share this. It's funny, it was the last thing I brought up, talking with a group of ladies who were kind of ahead of where I was as a coach. And it was the last thing I brought up. And the one woman said, why didn't you tell us this when we started? This is your audience. And I said, oh, no. I could never, I can't keep reopening that wound. I can't go there. I can't use my son. And they said, whoa, you're looking at it the wrong way. Think of all these parents that need someone who's on the other side, who has found a way. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I get emotional about it too. Who has found a way to be happy again and help other people with what they've lived through. So when I started looking at it from that perspective, it didn't seem dirty anymore. You know, before it felt like, you know, wrong to go there. And so I talked to my husband and I said, what do you think? And he said, I think they're absolutely right. He said, you've been doing it. We've raised over $200,000 to help special needs kids and given away like $90,000. We've got grants. He says, why not do something to help other people you haven't reached yet? So I came home and I thought, all right, well, I'm going to see, because it's kind of scary. You know, I didn't know how many other people's stories I could tolerate hearing. It's really hard. I mean, I help on a small level in our community, but I mean, compared to these national groups and things, I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So I picked 3 groups related to special needs kids. I also picked 3 groups related to my cats because I figured that was light and fun and I could balance. So, I thought, okay, I'm going to just see what resonates with me. So I joined the groups, and in the past I've joined groups and never introduced myself, and none of those types of groups, but other things. And I just expected people to show up, and people don't just show up. I didn't even introduce myself. So this time I picked 6 groups. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just, this is such a good point for people.
I picked 6 groups total, 3 cat, 3 special needs, very different interests. And I introduced myself in the group and posted in the special needs kids groups. I posted a picture of my son and said, hey, I'm a community activist. I did not publish anything Beachbody related or about my journey in that regard. I didn't even publish anything about the charity we created because I didn't want them to feel like I was soliciting. I just introduced why I was there and said, you know, I've lost my son. I realize this is for a lot of active parents, but I wanted to introduce myself, tell you what I currently do, and, you know, see if this is a good fit. In the first 36 hours, I had 500 likes on one of the pages. Now, the other 2, less interest, but still, I mean, like 50, 100. But in 48 hours, I had over 700 likes and 150 plus comments, and I couldn't keep up. So I was doing the social media class with Brandy and everybody, and I decided, well, I'm going to make a video, which I loathe, hate, and despise. So I made a quick video. I did a first take, and it felt really stiff. So on the second one, I read a few of the comments people had made in the group, and I kind of acted as though I was talking to them. And I posted it on my page, and I couldn't decide if I was going to post it in those groups as a response or not, but I basically said, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Well, in the meantime, people were stalking me. I mean, watching me. And they saw my post on my page. Several of them reposted it in other special needs kids advocacy groups. And I didn't know how to, like, basically the reason I did the video was I didn't know how to reach out to all those people in a meaningful way, those 150 plus. So, and the 700 likes. So I posted that. All of these people started going, oh my God, how are you not in this group? And posting it there. And then someone posted it in the group with the 700 things on my stream. And I had started friending people in the comments, but I was afraid I'd go into Facebook jail. So I didn't comment. And, you know, I was kind of, that's a worldwide group. So I was qualifying people by, and if I'm doing too much scatter, tell me leave it.
No, I think this is good for people to hear the process, because I don't think usually they get the process. So go ahead. And then there are people who are over there, I see their eyes, they're going, well, I don't have this fortunate circumstance to deal with. I'm a regular gal. So I'm going to address some of those things real quick, Jen Thatcher. And then
let me say something really quick, because I missed the beginning. So Gretchen, tell me about your son. I missed that whole entire thing, and I'm having a hard time keeping up.
Sure. I had a son with special needs who passed away in 2006, and I advocate for special needs kids. I have a fund that I set up that's a 501c3, and we help special needs kids. So
You have kids now or no?
What's that?
You have a child now or no?
Yes, I have 2 kids.
Okay.
I had an older son from before that. Jameson was my middle child, and my daughter, who was born after he passed away.
Okay.
So basically, I got involved in a few Facebook groups relating to special needs kids, got out of my comfort zone.
Got it.
So, and there's a lot more detail to it, but that's the basic.
Okay.
So I started friending the people who made comments, and I got through that list, but I was afraid I was going to end up in Facebook jail. So I ended up doing that over time because there were so many comments. Now I've been adding people who liked. And the funny thing is, you know, I said at the beginning, Lee, that I was worried that this was going to come across as being icky, you know, because I didn't want to be using what happened with my son. People have just reached out to me so much. I've been helping people with things with their children. And on top of that, you know, it's helping my business. But the ironic thing is my special needs kids Facebook page, by the way, Jamie Smiles, Jamie's Smiles, has blown up because of it also. I had over 3,000% increase in that page. I just stayed up half the night updating my actual website for the special, because I was so far behind on that, for my charity, because I realized that I have to be current if I'm going to be also. So not only am I blowing up my business, I have over 35 people I'm in direct contact with now because of a combination of things, that and some ads that I've run. But I added almost 200 people to my network in a week who are now watching me, who are my friends. And now I'm starting to add people again because I feel like I've gotten enough people off of the I attempted to add them list. And people that I wasn't adding myself are adding themselves to my list. And now, if you start doing anything like this, and yes, you know, I mean, look on a smaller scale, okay? I said also I joined 3 cat pages, right? So I have another 60 friends, or 60 people that I've friended, I should say, and 60 people that have been engaging with me on those pages. So if you start looking at what your interests are, okay, you know, some people were asking me on Trendsetters, well, what kind of groups did you join? Well, you know, my groups aren't going to work for you. That's why I was reluctant to put groups in, and I'm not worried somebody's going to get into them or whatever. I'm just, you know, you don't have the same kind of cat I do. You didn't have the same experience I did. But do you like gardening? Do you like fishing? Do you like hunting? Do you like, I don't know, do you like Arizona? Whatever you like, start doing that, you know, and go into the group. But you have to introduce yourself. You have to explain why you're there. And then, you know, I didn't think about friending the people that commented initially. It kind of rolled on my head. I've been really brainstorming about how to connect better. So I started doing that. Then I was like, well, why am I not friending the people who liked things? Well, I'm going to be at that for about 4 months with the 700 people that liked my post. But I guess that's where I've been going, and it's really taking off. You know, it's ironic too, even just in my own community, the people that I had, if you will, already in my semi-warm market, and I'll be done in just 1 second, but tons of people watched that video, and I did end up boosting the video, which seemed counterintuitive. You would think you only want to boost things that are, hey, buy this Beachbody stuff. But I boosted that video because I wanted people to see who I was, and it was obvious people were relating to it. I have had over 3,000 views of that video. And in the last week, with the groups that I've joined, and I ran 3 Facebook ads for a total of $50, I have had over 45,000 people reach in 1 week, and it has blown my mind. Now, those aren't all people that are buying from me. Those are not all people that are my friends, but I have touched those people once, and they're going to recognize me when I come back and do it again.
No. And you've given yourself a lot of work to do, but before that, it's like we're constantly struggling with, well, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to, and your message and your goal in life is to touch these people. So now you're able to go out and do your mission, your you feel you can give back most. I'm just going to mute this line because it's just been active. Yeah. So thank you. That's huge. What I wanted to say, because there's a lot of people, I didn't get, when I did this, I was a supporter and I got regular gal one time, and I not a hero, you know, like, I'm like, well, what do I do? I'm just a mom, you know, what do I do? And for me, I'm going to share with you where I'm at on my branding, because you might be able to relate to this, or I can explain where I was and how things were different. But lately, I was a preschool mom, and I felt like I had a great connection with preschool moms, because every year there'd be new people coming into the preschool, and I was at this preschool for 12 years. So my mom brand worked completely easily for me. And I'm an in-person kind of gal, and I would just meet people, add them to my social network, talk to them when I see them. I was seeing people 2 and 3 times a day at the school, and that was really easy for me, okay? So I didn't have to work on a brand because it kind of just fell into my lap. Well, I left the preschool, and I feel like just out of a couple, I knew this was happening. I could see it was going to happen, but I didn't do anything about it. But I could see that I was growing apart from these preschool moms. I mean, come on, I've got a high schooler and almost a driver, and they are having babies, okay? So I don't remember being up. I mean, I kind of remember being up in the middle of the night, but what I remember most about it is cherishing the moment with this infant. What they remember is the lack of sleep and the incompetence of just trying to struggle through day to day. And honestly, I can relate because I was there, but it's not like where I am right now. So we're not on the same page. So I started to realize that my brand and my market, even though I wasn't as intentionally flaunting it around, that's who I was, has shifted. So now I have to rebrand myself because I never really had an official effort toward it. It's hard. So I did identify my market. And it's because, again, of the people around me. So it's an accidental market, but that's because I feel like I'm just the mom, right? I'm a successful business entrepreneur as well. And I'm not sure that that's the brand I want to take either, but I know that that's who I am. So when I look at who do I want to touch, it's moms that have sort of lost touch with who they are. They give and support their families 100%. They will sacrifice themselves at any time. Look, I haven't showered because I'm giving to my team. And then if I skip my workout because I have other things to do, it's because those things are important to me. I value myself, but I feel like I put myself last. So it's moms that put themselves last. And that was kind of always the same market. However, where I'm looking at now is the mom that wants to have something of her own and give back to the family, to society, to whatever, but just needs something to be complete, something more than her family. Not that being a mom isn't enough, but that having a business or a small income or an impact or a community to connect with, those are different things you get from having this business. That's important to them. So there's a group of moms that I feel that I can identify with. They have high school children. They have children that are about to leave the nest, or they see that that's the reality. Within 3 years, they might be empty nesters. So I kind of narrowed it down to, and even though I have a kindergartner, I feel like my age and where I'm at is helping me relate to these other people who are at the state where they're like, well, I've kind of lost myself. For 15 years, I've been raising kids, and that's what I did. I volunteered in the class, and I did projects, and I made the meals, and I cleaned the house, and now I don't know what I like. So I need to be able to figure out how to speak to that group. And when I took the test and it says regular mom and supporter and teacher, I'm like, okay, yeah, those are the general types of kind of categories, but I'm still working through that. Again, my message would be totally different than yours, but just to be able to say that I've taken that feeling and changed it to become an entrepreneur, to have a team, to feel connected. So I feel like I've accomplished some of those things. And, when I went through and identified what I think everyone needs to do on top of going through this quiz is to identify the things that you like. So what do you like in life? For me, that's hard because I'm there to please everybody and help everybody. And, it's like, well, what do I like? I don't know anymore. I mean, I like my friends. I like to travel. I like sugar. Okay, where is that, right? And I'm not joining a special needs group for that. I guess I could join a sugar addicts group, but there's always something, okay? We're going to be able to find our groups. So when I look at some of you out here, I see, Danielle, mom of 4, has it all together when we see it from the outside. That's how I see it. You have your hair is pulled back and styled. I mean, yes, you're in a sweatshirt, but you're coming to me from a beautiful room. Your workout room is pretty.
And I need to put myself out there more if that's
hey. Well, someone for you to follow. Do you know Lauren McNulty? I think that's her last name.
What's her last name?
think it's McNulty. I'll look it up and see. I sat with her at dinner. The reason I'm saying this is you guys remind me of each other. She's got little kids. She only has 2. She's a former, what do you call it? Cheerleader, I think it was. Like I was gonna say dancer, but I think it's a cheerleader for like a professional, maybe football team. So she's an athlete, but she's a mom. And when I see her videos, what people like about her is that there's kids around and she just barrels through it. It's like, well, there's a kid on my back, so I'll do another push-up. I'll modify it. Like she's real. And I don't know. Like I feel like take a look at her, kind of follow her. She probably won't friend you. She told me that like I had accidentally friended her. This is embarrassing. I was stalking her before I knew her. This is so weird because I didn't even realize that I had done this, but I was looking at her retreat is what it was, because she had posted a bunch of pictures about her retreat, and it must have either been right before or right after our retreat, and I was trying to like compare or look or something, get ideas, and my phone has recently been, like when I scroll over things accidentally, it will sometimes click a button, and I had accidentally friended her, and I was like, oops. So when I went to friend her, she's like, well, let me look and see, and she's like, oh, you had requested me. Same thing. I was like, oh, I had? Okay. And it didn't dawn on me at that time until later that it was why it had happened. But she goes, I don't accept people unless we've met because it's just too many people. So I get that. But you can follow her and watch what she's doing. And I'm sure she has a business page. But again, back to I'm a regular gal. Life is challenging for everyone, especially a mom of 4. I mean, that's a huge group. And to be fit and happy and have, a quality life is, I think, something that people are like, wow, what is she doing? You're doing something right, and little things. Another good person to follow, the regular mom to follow, and I will qualify this by saying we've talked about this, Danny and I, she got like 4 stories that are like majorly impactful, but her regularness shows through, and her brand is fun to watch because she's crisp and clear. Her name is Mama Bear on Instagram, and her name is Ashlyn Mitchell. She lives in Utah. She's pretty. She's got 2 little girls. Like she focuses on like hairdos, like how she does her hair, what she's eating. So some of these things are just things that we could all do. I mean, and then she has a story that's like moving beyond moving. You can go check out her stories. She has like 2 or 3 stories. She's got a fusion in her back, and then she's had some marital challenges and some challenges with her children as well. So, I mean, yeah, that's helped her following, but even if you have a following and then you can't connect with people, you're kind of have a piece missing. So as you're looking to, what do I share? I mean, share your daughter's bow addiction, join some groups about how to make bows and do bows if you wear bows all the time. When you have a newborn little girl and you don't, but like if you do, maybe you put the headbands in and join some groups about like maybe they make headbands, like just something that you have in common with people. And it's something trivial. Like Gretchen said, she joined cat groups. Peggy Mackey has a huge following, and I don't know if she knows it. She's over 60. There are not a lot of people over 60 who have changed their lives physically at that point. Like she was 50 and she found Beachbody and P90X, and her story is so inspirational. She has a huge market there. So she has to figure out a way to, brand herself, her page, and then tap in. And she's doing that. But again, like Gretchen said, if you go into the group and you introduce yourself, I think your mailbox will be flooded if you've already done the back work. So Jen Thatcher, she totally rebranded herself. Not on purpose either, but she got pregnant. She started posting about her pregnancy. She was 40 or 41. And she basically had a lot of new friends and a lot of new people to talk to, right, Jen? I mean, it wasn't a purposeful thing, but that's became a market, right? New moms now?
Sort of, but not really. So that's why I'm here on the call, because we need to talk.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to talk. But I do feel like I watched you. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that just happened. That's just too cool. I mean, how do you tap into it, I guess, is the next step.
Well, that's the thing. It's like everyone loves watching someone who's pregnant and throws it all out there on Facebook. And then the minute you're not pregnant anymore, it's like, so now I have to find my new thing, which is difficult.
Okay, well, we can talk. But it is difficult. And I feel like you have to be open. You can still inspire the pregnant moms and connect with them. But again, you are a little bit distanced. I mean, I had to go through that, right? I had 12 years. It wasn't 9 months of a pregnancy. 12 years of, this is my market and I can talk to them, but I don't even need to, to work on it. They're there. Now I'm like, this is part. This is like, what do I say? How do I connect? And my total overall best advice is you get to be you and be authentically you, because the people that are meant to follow you, they're going to want to see your quirkiness. Case in point is, and I think Jen Kelly or Heather Emerson, one of them shared, it was Peggy Mackey who shared it in our group, the video of Coach doing a funky dance to Push It, to Salt and Pepper's Push It. Did anyone see that video? It's gone viral on Facebook. You know how viral it's gone? One of my friends, soccer booster mom in the high school, okay? She's fit. She runs a Jabs studio. She's a instructor, manager of the Jabs gym. So she's fit. And one of her clients, again, this is nothing related to Beachbody, shared it on her wall. That's how viral it's gone. But what this girl did, she did a funny dance to a song, and she looked dorky. But she does those like videos and puts herself out there. And this wasn't the first thing she did on her page. Like you look at her and you're like, you can see her personality shining through in her stuff. I feel like, I don't think I'm that dorky. I don't know. But I'm sure there's stuff that we do in our house that if I put it on Facebook, people would be like, oh my God, I love that. Or I can relate to that. Or, oh my gosh, take a look at this, guys. And they would share it. I just don't know what that stuff is because, well, first of all, I don't share it. And second of all, I don't think that my life is interesting, right? I guess there's a lot of people that would think it's interesting if I shared it. And that's part of why you have a like page versus a personal page, because you don't necessarily expect your friends to like your like page. It is a business page, and you get to be you on it and share who you are. And the reason you do that on your like page is because you have to build trust with people. So these concepts I totally get, right? How to talk to people, how to build connection with them. Part of them, for me, it's harder online. And so I struggle with that part. And I know that for Gretchen, she's better in person too. So making that video was good. And her advice was to read some of the comments, and a lot of people will say, like, pretend like you're talking or thinking, you're working with one person. Like when I'm on this call, I know there's a bunch of you on the call. I might look at one or two or three of you or try to look around, but I might be talking to a couple of you. So think about that when you're making a video. I mean, if you're just recording day life, it's just life, but who you are and what you do helps you become relatable. So I have this thing, I don't want to do a video because I didn't take a shower, I don't have any makeup on, and I look like terrible. And that's what people want to see. They want to see that you're real. They don't want to see that you went and had your hair blown dry and your makeup done, and now you put on pretty clothes and you show up once a week, because that's when you do that. Or maybe once a month, or maybe you show up, but then you're this person sometimes and this person. Yeah, you can show how you do get dressed up, but who are you really every day? I think people really appreciate that. They see your baby slung on your shoulder, and they see you feeding your kid, and they see you doing a push-up with someone crawling under you, whether it's a kid or a dog, or, they see that my coffee exploded the other morning. I didn't I didn't have something hooked up right, and I put it on, and I almost fried the machine. Like, that would have been the funniest thing in the world. I didn't tape it, but those are the kinds of things you're like, oh my God, can I get a replay on that? I was making the Shakeology the other day, and my blender has a button in the front. It's just a little hand, like a single serving. And I didn't have the top on yet because I was connecting. So I connect the blender like this. I'm holding the bottom part, and I put the top part in, and I'm turning it to lock it in place. Well, my thumb that was holding it pushed the on button. There was not a top on it, and literally it sprayed out everywhere. My entire family was cracking up. I made all over my shirt. I was so excited to wear this, like, new, it wasn't this, but like the sweater I was wearing that day. And I'm like, I can't wear this. I had to change my clothes. It was out on the floor, got on my tennis shoe. I mean, that would have been relatable and funny. I mean, I was not happy that it happened and no one recorded it, but those are the kinds of things that are just like, that happens to me. Oh my God. Okay. I want to work with her because she's like me. Like, she's dorky just like me. Anyway. So, questions, because I've been talking a lot. I know Gretchen shared some stuff. I have a couple of the other brands open, and I wanted to go through that, but let me come at me with some stuff, like where you guys are struggling. And I told you I'm struggling too, but we'll work through this together. Questions right now?
I'm really struggling with, like, putting my why out there and, like, sharing that, because it's just a lot of big stuff. And I know, like, a lot of people have gone through the same thing and that they could really relate, but I have a lot of issues with my family that like are on Facebook, and I don't want to make our relationship worse.
Yeah.
So I'm really struggling with how to make that connection with everybody without like offending my family.
Throwing your family under the bus. Now, I do have a coach that I was working with, like one-on-one, that I was talking to, and she said, I don't have a story. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you do. But I get what she's saying is, I don't want to put my story out there because it involves other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same kind of thing that you're saying. And I don't know the right answer there. Some of it is getting over. Some of them is it to tell the people, listen, like, this is something that's driving me, and I know it involves you. This is not to offend you at all. This is just, and it may or may not be something, you can share at this time based on the circumstances. I don't know your circumstances, but I think you have to consider who and how it will affect. And maybe it's not right to share if it's something that will affect people you love that you can't let go of, or that you don't want to offend, or that they won't understand why and how you're sharing it. Like there could have been a situation with Gretchen. She had to share her story, and it brought up feelings that are, that really hurt. And even when she connects with other people that have had this, I don't even know how to describe it, just terrible circumstance occur to them, or are going through something, it reopens some of that. And that was hard. She had to decide that was okay. Now, that wasn't other people, but let's say her mom didn't want to hear it ever again, because that was how she dealt with it. And Gretchen is putting it out there now. I mean, she's going to have to tell her mom, listen, I'm helping people, and you got to get over this. And you just need to just not look on Facebook or turn me off or go away from this, because I am doing what I need to do here. So I think some of it is figuring out your scenario. And the answer might be not now. I can't share that part of it now. It could still drive you. But if it's part of how you're going to connect with people, I think, you kind of have to work through what pieces can you share without, the people who know it are going to know it. Even if you don't mention any names, I don't know the right answer. I'm just giving you options on. It might be something just have to work through. But I do know that when you get through some of that, you're going to feel free, because it will allow you to follow that light, that mission, that way you're calling. Yeah, Gretchen.
Just so you know too, and this is just my story, but in the same sense, I had people when I started the charity that said that I was using that to stay in the limelight. And I said, trade you any day of the week. So people are going to have an opinion about what you do, whether it's controversial or not. I looked at people and said, how can you object to me helping other kids? And they were like, well, it's about you. And it wasn't. It was, well, I guess in a way, it was about healing. But it wasn't about keeping myself out there. I would love to have gone and hidden under a rug. But you have to decide, like Lee said, what's right for you and what you can tolerate, though, because it depends on how close in your circle. Those people aren't in my life anymore. I didn't need that.
It didn't happen overnight either. Well, haters are going to hate, right? The haters are going to hate. And even the people that you don't know, there's going to be haters. So part of our daily work is to do personal development, because we have to be better. I look at from a business perspective of how successful can a person be. Okay, I am not the person who joined Beachbody 9 years ago by any means. I didn't have the confidence I had. I didn't have the so many things that I didn't. I was not the same person, and I've grown a lot. But I have to say that if I want to be more successful than I am, I have so much growing to do. I don't necessarily know how. Where I need to go, but I know that I'm at capacity with not my success or my capacity, but I can't do things differently until I change. So I'm aware of that. I just don't, maybe it's time for a life coach. I don't know where to go. Like, I'm kind of at this point of knowing that I'm on a brink, right? Like, there's this place that I need to go and this person I need to become, but I'm still working on that. And that part of my journey is knowing that I have a larger audience to impact, but not necessarily knowing where they are, who they are, and how to reach them. So I have to figure that out. And my biggest struggle in that, and some of you can relate to this, is I want someone to give me the answer. Because I can go do it well. I can achieve anything, and I've proven it, if I know what I need to do. So I was top coach. I was number 5 in the company, right? Because I knew exactly what I needed to do, and I just did it. And if I needed to do it more, sacrifice whatever I had to do. But this is hard for me. No one is telling me how to grow. It's introspective. It's hard. I don't like it. I don't like doing it. I don't do it. I mean, that's the wrong answer. But when I can get through that, I can help more people, help people that are stuck there. But again, there's no answer to it. I have to figure it out, and I don't like it. I'm stuck. But we can all, as we are growing, as people, as partners, as parents, as friends, as our heart changes and as we grow, situations change. And I have to share that there are a lot of people in my life that do things that I used to get really mad about. Annoyed, mad, irritated, brewed and stirred, and it made me angry. And now I just say, you know what? I see that person's going through this, or that they can't really do anything else. And I'm okay with how they're not going to get me upset. That's just how they are. It's not how they're treating me. That's just, they can't be any different. And if I'm okay with that, I said something to somebody the other day and they're like, whoa, that's big of you to realize that. And I'm like, hey, it's a fact. And if I'm going to let myself get all bent about it, then I'm the one who's going to have the bad day. So part of me is growing in that perspective, so that, and that's part of the hater's going to hate, okay, people feel, when you have a statement and a mission, there are going to be people that are going to hate. I kind of don't see that right now because I feel like I'm in my regular gal kind of mode, or my supporter mode. I'm helping the people that need the help, or I'm out there just being me. But I'm sure there's haters, but again, I'm not sort of looking past them. Those sheets that we did when you did the quiz. Oh, Jen, what were you, by the way? Pastor.
Queen.
Because I was that too. I think I was the
Were
most.
you good? I feel as bad that.
I was supporter the first time and queen the second time. I took it 6 times though, because I wasn't trying to change my answers, but I was trying to get queen to come back, and so I got 4 other things, and I could never get queen back. But I know why I got queen, and it's there's good parts to it. I mean, the control freak part is probably the biggest part. But there's ways to have that work to your advantage too. Okay, so when we go through those, I'm just going to pull them up real quick. We look at the hero real quick. Let's see if I have the queen. Queen, I don't know how to teacher. Do I have the queen? I did pull up a bunch of them. I think queen, so yeah. Okay. Your core desire is to be in control, to create a prosperous and successful business, be the leader in every way, be strong and decisive, take action, help people feel powerful beyond measure, and encourage ambition and abundance. So the how, that's the part that you have to focus on, because you do all the other things probably, but how are you going to create that community of empowerment to other people? So once you identify who your target market is it new moms? Is it, I would say, even beyond new moms, if I were looking at you, I would want to target people in their 40s who are new moms. And I don't know how you find them, but I feel like it's a narrower market, and you will attract other people along the way, but you are looking for other queens. And
you know what? It's funny you say that, because I did that Steve McDonald page training at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And I thought my target market was going to be first-time moms over 40, because it makes a ton of sense. But I went through the whole entire training, and I couldn't come up with a way to target those people, because you do different tests and stuff. And it's I can't think of, he said that when you find your target market, you should have 50 blog post ideas just off the top of your head. And I'm like, I can't even think of one. So he said, if you can't even think of one, that's not your target market. So that's kind of screwed up with my head up.
Well, I think it's harder to connect with them because, and here's the reason why, but here's maybe where you're going to find them. Women in their 40s that don't have kids, they're working, right? Most of them, or they're married to sugar daddies, and then I don't know what they're doing, they're volunteering. So basically, they're super busy, right? I mean, they're not sitting around reading your Facebook feed, right? A mom maybe who's at home while their baby's napping is going to read your Facebook feed. Those people are easier to connect with if you're just posting on Facebook. But what you're looking for, and this is part of, my narrow description of who I'm looking for, I'm looking for people who used to work in corporate America, who had 6-figure incomes, who left their jobs because it was more important to be present in a family. But now their families are aging and they're seeing like, okay, my kid goes to school full time. I have these 8 hours in the day, or maybe I have 4, but I can't get a job because my skills aren't current. I don't want to work full time anymore. Maybe my life is comfortable and I just want to give back, or maybe I do want a supplemental income. Maybe I just want that connection of those same sharks in my tank. So I have to figure out, how do you find those people? Those are like highly motivated people who just aren't motivated to do anything right now. So in your case, Jen, I think you're looking for somebody who is looking for something. But I don't know. I mean, I think that's our question, is we can talk through that. Like, how do you find that person? That person who is super busy, is, has this life that they've created, and all of a sudden, whoa, put on the brakes. I had these last 9 months to think about it. My life is changing. And it's welcome. It's different. It's hard. It's something I never really knew how hard it was till now. And it's a lot easier at 22 to have a kid because you didn't work for 12 or 20 years in the workforce. So I think that you have to kind of figure out, I don't know how to answer, but I agree that it's harder. What do you post to them? I mean, you are still posting new mom stuff, but I feel like if you bring back all the time the working life and how it's the comparative of how it's different, or sometimes I hate to say this, I love my kid, but I wish I was going to work today, and I don't know if that will help, because there are probably some working people who had worked up till they were 40, or maybe there were people who struggle to get pregnant, but having a baby at 40 is different. And you don't know any different because that was your first baby. I get it. But your struggles, things that you're going through, are real and relatable to anyone as a mom. So it's almost easier to say, well, then let's just talk to moms, because there's a lot more of them than moms, first-time moms in their 40s. Okay, I agree. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I even created a first-time mom over 40 group on Facebook, thinking like, it totally bombed. Like, no one talks. I have nothing to say.
Well, what if you just be you in there? You have a lot going on in your life. Can't you just say that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I mean, I don't know, but
I've got like 60 people in there now. I'm like, add your friends.
Well, I mean, you're in Jesse's training. Have you been advertising that group at all, or promoting it in any way?
Promoting what group?
Well, that you have that group. Like, if you made a video for moms over 40, or first-time moms that are 40, and then you promoted, like, I've got this group for us, didn't that put people in the group for you?
I hadn't thought of that.
And what if you make a video to introduce yourself? Here I am. Here's who I used to be, and here's who I am today. Like, what did I do? Where's my job? Can't I go back to I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, you got a story there, girl.
Yeah. I guess it just takes somebody else pointing it out.
Yeah. And your situation is unique. You weren't planning on having a child, but you're with someone you love, and you're like, hey, this is great. This is a blessing in our lives. And you had to make decisions. You might find people just like you. And you didn't just go get married because you were pregnant, which some people do, but that's a stand. You took a stand. You will get married if you want to, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. And so you have a voice of things that are happening in your life, whether they're significant or not, or will make an impact on others. I don't know. But as looking at you, I feel like there's a lot to share. I'm
glad I asked, because it just takes me asking other people what they see, because it's kind of cloudy on my end. But I mean, and I could do that with any one of you guys too. I see things that you probably don't see in yourselves.
No, I think that's a good exercise for us to do. And Lauren McNulty, I think she might have 2 last names. That might be her maiden name. But when she just did this, she's going through a whole thing herself, struggling with her brand, which I laugh because I like see her as, who I see her. But everyone's saying like she's real, she's relatable. She's a former athlete, but she just asked that on her page. Like, I think it might've been on her like page, but like, tell me what you see in me. So you can do that a little bit with each other. Because I think it does help. I mean, I'm in that same boat, struggling, man. I probably need to ask the question then. What time is it? Okay, we have a few more minutes. Was there someone else that wanted to ask a question? Gretchen?
So this isn't totally brand related, but when we start getting into the ads and the boosts and things, what do we have to be careful of when it comes to Beachbody? Are there rules about what we can say or can't say? I mean, I know we're supposed to say results can vary, but is there anything else we need to know?
Well, Facebook won't let you use certain things in ads.
Oh, I found that out.
Some of those rules are the primary rules. Before and afters, you have to have a certain amount of text on a post, like less than 20%. I don't know, something like that.
I've broken all those.
I don't know Beachbody rules as far as like what you can and can't say. I mean,
Okay.
if you're claiming income, you have to put a disclaimer, that I know. If you're claiming how it changed your life in an income-ish way, it's always best to include the disclaimer. And the reason that Beachbody, that coaches are doing that Beachbody is saying do that, is because if we don't do that, FTC can shut us down at some point if they're saying we're making false claims. And income is a very quick one to say, listen, you can't claim that because that's only in a case-by-case scenario, and it's up to independent, it's an independent business, and your success is not guaranteed by the company. So that you do have to be careful about. But I don't know, Jen, are you aware? I haven't been doing a lot of boosting it with my ads or post ads.
Gretchen, I don't know how far you are in Jesse's training, but I know you had a lot of success on your boost, but he said never to boost because it's a complete waste of money. And there's a particular reason why, and I can't exactly remember what it is, but I think it comes up in module 3, and I think that just came out yesterday. So he said you can run ads, and he'll show you how to run ads, but boosting is like a complete waste of money. You cannot have before and after pictures as your ad either.
Right.
Facebook will take that off, and then like the whole you have to use royalty-free music, but you probably already know that. I saw somebody today that didn't have royalty-free music, and I was going to message them, but I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Oh, they'll be pulled before they have a chance for it to get anywhere.
Right.
Wait, so sorry, I have a question. So if you have a post, just don't boost it, but you promote that. You can still promote that post.
Right, and he's saying that a boost, I mean, I've done boosts, but they don't really get you anywhere. I mean, I've done it and I've gotten more likes, but from what I've heard, and I haven't done many modules in Jesse's training, he's saying it's like flushing the money down the toilet. I've heard other people say that.
And I think it's because you're going to get likes and you're going to get people seeing your stuff, but it might not be the people that you want. And actually now that I think about it, when I was doing boost before I knew what the hell I was doing, I've got like 2,000 likes on my like page, and I look at them, and there's so many that aren't even anywhere near my target market. Like some people have guns on their, profile page, and some people are from different countries. And that's from boosting posts. And it's like, I've got all these randoms that I don't want, and I can't get them off my page because I've already liked it.
Right. So when you run a sponsored ad, or when you run an ad, it basically, you can pick your market. So you say like people that use the Daily Burn. I'm going to do an ad about my on-demand. I'm going to push me working out, with my setup in the park while my kids are on the jungle gym, and I'm going to talk about how on-demand is convenient, or how the Beachbody app is better than on-demand because I can have 7 workouts on my thing, whatever it is. But I'm going to say, put it out to the Daily Burn people because they're obviously streaming workouts. So that's a good way that you can mimic markets. And then when you find that you found a narrow market of your own that you like, you can recreate it on other ads. So I think that's
I was able to do that on the boost though. I mean, I have narrowed my audience there by age, location, and then there's like keywords and areas you can choose.
okay.
So, I've been targeting different things there. I do need to get into that training, but I missed the beginning of it. So,
it's weird because I did all that water, trickle down thing too. And then the people I were getting were like, like I said, guns, drugs, hookers. And they're coming to my first time I'm over 40 page. I'm like, I don't know why you're liking my page, but thanks. And it was so weird because I don't know how they would have seen it. And I had only assumed that it was from a boost, and they might have seen it because somebody else liked it. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, Gretchen. I'm just repeating what I heard too. I heard the same thing. But I do know, especially, let's say 5 years ago, Amber Snow, that's her name now, she had done internet marketing before she became a Beachbody coach. And she had told me, no, don't do that. Don't run ads on specific posts or anything. You need to sponsor your page or do sponsored things where you're trying to get the price per click down low. And that's what Jesse teaches. And so I know Amber had huge success. She's got, I don't know how many hundreds, thousands on her Destiny page, Create a Destiny. And it's because she knew internet marketing when she came to Beachbody. So her target market, people that want to lose 100 pounds or more, when they came to her, she had a plan. You're going to do, I don't remember, Turbo Kick and then Insanity and then P90, whatever it was. She's like, you're signing up for a year with me. When you sign up for getting your account, you might as well be a coach because you can drink Shakeology all year. You're going to save money. So she put them on like, boom, this is what you do. You don't want to work with me. I got plenty more in line, but this is the plan. I mean, she had to have built trust with them by exposing herself and being vulnerable. But when you look at what she did, you go back and it's like the same thing. She shares her story. She shares her transformation. She's inspiring you. She's working with you. She's trying to help you. She's giving you an exact, here's what you do. So I feel like when we say, here's the plan, like I have a spokesmom on my page, and I've never gotten a hit on that link before. I've never promoted it either, but I created this program where someone can join my team, my mom team, as a spokesmom, but they can like lose weight and get better themselves. And if they choose to take it to a business, they can. So there's like a post about it on my blog, and no one's ever clicked the link that I know of, or at least submitted an application. 2 days ago, I had somebody submit. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know who she is, where she came from. She's not a coach. She's not one of my customers. I looked for her on Facebook with her email, and she doesn't know anyone that I know. I'm like, it's so weird. Maybe she liked my like page. Somehow she found my blog. But I mean, the sad thing is like, she is my target market. Like, wow. I'm like, she's a mom. She has 4 girls. She's 39. She is in need of a solution. She's a former military person, so she knows she can be in shape. She's just lost her motivation. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I messaged her. She didn't reply. And I waited a few hours, like 6 hours or 8 hours. I called her. I didn't message her right away. I got busy. So like 5 hours later, I messaged her saying, thank you for contacting me. I'm excited to talk to you to see if I'm someone that can help you. I didn't assume, I'm like, I'm, looking for 15 minutes of your time over the next week. I have time tomorrow. If you have time, let me know. And then she didn't reply, which is fine. People get busy. It might have not even gone to her right email address because, whatever. So then I called her and left the message. So what I'll do next is I'll text her to say, I'm not sure if you got my email or my phone call. But then I might go find her on Facebook. But anyway, there's ways to find people that are just attracted to you for who you are. So something about me sparked an interest in her because we know there's 450 other thousand Beachbody coaches. So she related to my story in some way. How did she see it? Probably on my website. And I've just been consistent there sharing. So I don't do a good job promoting that. But like if I do promote it and it does wind up taking off, part of it is I've done the back work. So figure out your back work of what is your story, who is your target market. And then you can start to create some of the other pieces. If you have a like page, that's great. If you don't, you need one because that's where you can sponsor your ads. What do you want people to do once they like you? You have to have a call to action. Are you going to have a group every month? You should. You need to help them in some way because you can always invite them. That's our biggest thing is once we attract these people, what are we going to do with them? We're going to invite them to join us. It's the easiest way. What are you doing right now? What do you want to change? If they're just looking for a business, they have to have used the product, so they should join the group for that. See how you do it. They can invite people to join with you, that kind of thing, if they're ready to be a coach. Beth, I haven't really talked to you much at all. Did you have questions?
No, I'm kind of like you. I don't know what I am. I feel like I'm very boring. All the questions that I ever ask, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? I could never answer those. I'm like, I like lots of things. I'm not like a specific person. So I'm really starting to get into this by doing the quiz, and I'm going to keep going and
ask 5 different people in your life. Ask your spouse, ask your sponsor, ask your sister, maybe ask 2 of your friends. See what they come up with. Like when you think of me, what are some of the words that you would use to describe me? And just kind of see where the overlaps are. You're probably a giver and a supporter. And I don't know. Those are some typical things. But then kind of think back to maybe before you had kids or when you worked, what were the things that you liked to do? And I'll talk with you more too, but kind of come up with that list first so we can maybe do some things for you.
Beth, I did that when I was trying to figure out my cover photo, and I asked my Facebook people in a couple words, describe me, and it really helped me think outside the box. So maybe just throw it on your Facebook and see what people say.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. I get so stuck, and then I don't do anything, and then I'm just overwhelmed, and I just turn it off, and I just go eat sugar. And I create this. It looks like I'm pregnant, but I'm not. It knows. My body knows I have a sugar baby. I think that's all I really had. Were there more questions? I mean, we should work together as a group on this because there's a lot to learn. It seems overwhelming, but the best thing you can do is just start. I mean, and Gretchen is proof right there. I'm sure it wasn't easy to make the decision to do this, but she didn't regret it. I mean, I know we were talking, she and I spoke 2 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, you need to do like Paige and do this, and she just went and did it. I mean, she might have thought about it and went, I don't know, and you're right, okay, how, what, but then she just kind of stumbled through it and figured it out. And I mean, yeah, she hit it right on the first time. But again, she's been doing pre-work for years. You guys heard she has a foundation. She's had a mission. So when you're a hero for a reason, I think, too. Maybe if you're a hero and you don't know what your mission is, you need to just think about why you're there. But again, that person is more purposeful and has this mission. We go back to those of us that are just like, we love everybody and we want everyone to be happy. What's our brand, you know? The happy hippie girl? I don't know. But I do think that, you know, ask a few people in your life to describe you and then be real and relatable because you're different and people will like you because you have cool trim on your windows and your house has brightness and you know how, maybe it's just organizing or decorating. Danielle, I think of you and I look at your house and I'm like, she knows how to like decorate on a budget. I know you're not like rolling in it, but your home is like, yes.
Oh no, I'm not rolling in it, but I know.
That's what I'm saying is your house, it looks so good. I said, I know you're not rolling in it, but like the way that you're able to do this, how you do it. Like share some tips. Get online and make videos about where you get your pillows, your decorative pillows, and where you got this little trash can and how you made this centerpiece and
or how your house is so clean and you have 4 kids.
Oh, I'm anal. There may be lots of yelling that goes on some days.
Well, share that because no one knows that. They think, oh my gosh, she's so perfect.
No, I'm just an anal clean neat freak, but no, I have I've been using Instagress on Instagram. Instagram is more me. I like Instagram better.
Okay.
Me personally. But anyway, home decorating, home decor, like I've been using those.
Okay.
Hashtags.
Okay, so this is my question for you because Instagram is great. You're following people, they're following you back. How are you connecting with them outside of sharing pictures and liking their stuff? Are you direct messaging them? Are you inviting them? Are you building?
I haven't directly. I'm still trying to. So my goal is to like add 10 people, go follow 10 people a day, new people on Instagram. The problem is if you go to your explore page, it shows you all fitness people because that's who I'm following. So I've been going to my personal page and mostly, you know, writing down the names of people that that I might connect with and then going back and following them on. So yeah, it takes time, but everything does, right?
Yep.
For it. But so with those people, I'm just trying to really comment on pictures. People want comments, not just the likes. So I'm trying to take the extra 10, 30, 20 seconds it takes to like write comments.
A thoughtful comment, an intentional comment, because honestly, that lets people know that you care. And when they see that you do that, if they make one of those back on yours, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But then other people are also going to start to see that your Instagram pictures are interactive and that you comment back to them. So when someone comments, tag them back with a very thoughtful response, not just, hey, thanks, just, maybe something cool. I don't even know, maybe a thanks, but then make sure to do the same. And that's one of the things I've noticed on the Mama Bear Fitness, and this is Ashlyn Mitchell's Instagram page. Every Instagram post she has, I don't care what it is about. If it's about her tennis shoe, her toe, her hangnail, her pretty hairdo, there's like comments on everything. She has an interactive following. And that's just who she is. But that community that she created is very special. That's what helps her drive her business, because once you have that community, all you have to do is say, I'm having a sneak peek, like Melanie Mitro, right? I want to be in her sneak peek. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, because they've been following her and they know her and she puts herself out there and she's sharing all this stuff and her pictures are really pretty and,
Yep.
people that you like, you kind of emulate them. But I don't know. What are you laughing at? The pictures are awesome.
But you know what? It's funny because every morning I actually follow Melanie on my personal page.
Okay.
It's like, so every morning when I wake up and I'm, feeding Beckett or whatever, and I'm scrolling, I see her posts. And I look and I think, okay, there's nothing phenomenal about this post. There's not. It's always her and
Always.
her, goofy face, normal face, grumpy face, whatever, and a motivational thought by it. And so, like,
Her formula is
we complicate, and I always overcomplicate things, but it's like, just post something, like, not just post anything, but she's top coach, and she's, of course, adding value, and she has better posts than others, but a lot of her posts, those first morning posts, are always just her and a motivational thought. I'm like, okay,
She
I can
looks
do that.
better than most people do in the morning. That helps too.
Well, so, and you know what?
She always has makeup on.
Well, so take a tip from Tracy Vidarini. We don't know when she's taking those pictures. Tracy Vidarini will
That's
go down to her workout room and take 6 pictures in 6 different outfits on the day that she looks pretty.
What a good idea.
And then she'll put it in a braid, and then honestly, maybe they are every morning. It doesn't matter, but you can do it and have it be intentional. And I don't, and maybe she does. She's very organized. So
Yeah.
if you are able to plan, if you want a motivational post every day, if you go look for a saying, take 6 pictures and overlay yourself, and now you're doing the same thing. But here's the key. If she does 5 different things a day, she's consistent. You know she's going to have posts every morning when you're looking at your breakfast and you feed Beckett. So you're like, oh, yeah, there's Melanie. There she is. She's showing up. So figure out the 5 things that you can post consistently. And maybe one is motivation. Your quotes can be different than hers. They can be pictures. They don't all have to be you. They don't all have to be fitness. They can be of your kids every day. Take pictures of your kids. You probably do it anyway. Find a quote about sharing, loving, giving, helping. I mean, your regular mom. There are so many people that are following you because you do decorate nicely. You are put together. Your kids are cute. Maybe they say funny things. You can have different things. And then kind of help people relate to you, like know you. But just the whole answer, it was Julie Voris shared that about consistency. Her kids live with passion and consistency, and they've been able to do so many things. I mean, not everyone is that passionate. That's okay. The consistency part. I'll share one last thing with you. This was a great story that I learned last week. I was on a coach call with someone in my downline, one of our team members, and she said she'd been to a Dave Ramsey course, taking one of the manager finance classes with Dave Ramsey, and a billionaire was there speaking. And some of you might have been to the course and maybe even heard same story or billionaire. He said, I can give you one book, the name of a book, and it's the one book I live by, and it's the reason that I'm a billionaire. And I'm like sitting there going, oh yeah, it's the Bible, right? It's the Bible. Like, there's so many good stories in there. One book, it's the Bible. And he goes, I know you're all thinking it's the Bible. I'm like, okay, it's not the Bible. Does anyone know what the book is?
Think and Grow Rich.
No, but he did mention that one. It's The Tortoise and the Hare. Okay? I want to leave you with that thought because Monica and I talked about that for a long time. Like, my success in this business, I'm not a rock star. I mean, I am, but not a rock star, 13-star diamond coach who came up in 3 years and earned $1 million. But I never stopped. I was consistently, even before we had a system, before we had a website, I was sharing these products and sharing how much I love them, how much everyone should get them. My first 5 months as a coach, there was no store. I actually told people, I can't make any money, but go buy it from Beachbody. Go get Power 90 on beachbody.com. It's only $60. You're going to have the same results I do if you stick to the plan. So I must have sold 20 products before we even had a store. But I never stopped sharing that story of you need to use these products because they're going to change your life. And that's, I mean, I can vary them in any way, but basically that's how I feel. These products will change your life if you follow the plan. So if you're looking for different form of exercise or better nutrition, let me help you pick a Beachbody product and we're going to help you find success. And I don't stop. That's my story. I don't change it. There's different ways to share it, but honestly, every day I just want to help people be better. I want them to feel like I feel, and I haven't stopped that for 9 years. People come up to me, you still doing that Beachbody thing? Yes. Okay, I'm not good at sharing how it's set our financial freedom, right? I mean, it's changed our life completely. I'm not good at saying This is how much money I make. This is what I'm doing. You know, I'm like, I found something that I'm passionate about. It brings me joy. I have a different life. Yes, people are like, God, you travel a lot. And I have to figure out a way to be able to share why I'm traveling a lot. It is because I love to travel, but it's because I'm able to travel too. But I just, again, I don't know, but whatever. The point is the tortoise and the hare, you can be the tortoise and win. You're looking at a tortoise, okay? I just show up every day. And not every day. I suck some days. But I try every day to just do a few things. And there's a great post. I'll share it in our group. It was actually shared by Jeff Hill 2 days ago, I think. I'll summarize it here, and then I'm going to let you guys go. He said that he took a picture of a post in his neighborhood, and he said, I don't know if this post is going to mean you like the actual post. It's a post, like a wood post. And he's like, here's what it is. He's like, he's got hurt knees, and, you know, his body is not able, but he's going to cross 26.2 miles. He's like, I might not be able to run it, but I'm going to do it. And this post signifies how far I went today and how far I can go right now. It's 4.2 miles or whatever. I don't know. You know, 4 mile post. He's like, that's my goal. My goal is to walk or go 26.2 miles in a set period of time. And I'm just setting out to just get as far as I can every day. But by the end of the year, I'm going to do this. So, I mean, that's something that I want each and every one of us to think about. I'll share it. He's a much better writer and thinker than I am, so I'll share it in his words in our group. But honestly, what is your post? What is not a post for Facebook, but what's your goal post? Is your next place that you need to go? And then once you know what that is, do the daily work, the small little things that add up. The tortoise, be the tortoise. Don't need to be the hare, I promise you. There are hares, you will see people in 3 years make $1 million. Okay. Yes, they're there. You don't have to do that. Yes, it's nice to do that, but you don't know the hustle that they put behind that. I know one of them's hustle was working every night till 3 a.m, waking up at 5, or maybe working till 2 a.m, waking up at 5, working again, you know, like this 80-hour mentality. Yeah, you can do it. If that's not what you're doing, then don't expect those results. You got to just do what you can do and do it consistently and be the tortoise. I'll share Jeff's post too. But again, let's all think about what our post is going to be, not on Facebook post, but like what the next thing that we're working toward is, so that we can do the little things to get there. Because honestly, I know that that's it. Like where we find the people and all that, that's just the stuff that gets in our way. You just have to talk to people and share your story. They will come to you. Someone's going to see what you wrote and send someone to you because of it. It just might be one person, and that might take a year. However, this is something else I learned years ago. If you're able to put yourself out there in 6 or 7 different ways. So yeah, if social media is your thing and you're doing Instagram and you're doing Twitter and you're doing Facebook, great. But, you know, like have a license plate on my car. It doesn't bring me, it says P90X. It doesn't bring me a ton of traffic. People are like, oh yeah, I saw your license plate. So do you work with that company, or what do you like P90X? Like it starts a conversation. That's just one little thing. If that's all I did, it wouldn't be anything. I give people my business card to stay connected, and then they go, oh, I love that. You're more than a mom. What do you do? That's one thing. So it's little conversation starters. If you're doing it all online, I'm not as great at giving you examples, but if you are an in-person person, somehow find ways, you know, maybe you wear a wear and share. That's just one way. Right? Like there's little things that you can do every day. And if you just have a few of those things happening every day, word of mouth, personal invites, like all those little things, it's when you get going and your momentum starts, when you're on that carousel, what was it, the merry-go-round? The carousel where you run and then you jump on and then you ride it. You don't have to run anymore, right? Like it takes so much to get that thing started. But that momentum, once you get it going, you only have to jump off once every like dozen times and give it a push and jump back on and go for the ride. You can build this business and you can go for the ride. You can never stop doing this business. I think that's one misnomer. You're always going to need to do a little bit. So if you build $1 million business, don't expect it to be around forever. It'll be around, but it won't be the same thing unless you're constantly, you know, once in a while you got to hop up and keep it going. So you need to continue to do it and keep it. But it's changed our life more than I can ever imagine. And I know it's possible. I've seen people like I could double what I have. I could double my team. I could double my impact. I could double my income. You know, it's just a matter of, do I want to do the work? Am I ready to hustle? Am I ready to build? Am I ready to inspire and be that person that I need to be? So think about those questions. You know, are you being the person that you can be the best person that you know how to be. And when you can become that person, you're able to do more. And it seems so weird. I've never been a personal development kind of person. In fact, I don't even like to read, so I listen to most of the books. So if that's an option for you, get audible.com. It's like $12, $15 a month, and you can get one book within a month. And if you ever leave them, you keep the books. So it's kind of like you're just adding to your library. Just work on yourself when you're in the car, when you're busy, when you're doing your laundry, put your headphones in and just listen 10, 20 minutes a day. That tortoise behavior, that showing up, that consistency is going to change you over time. So, not to say that you have to change, but everyone wants to be better. And if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, even though we think, oh, we're just staying the same. You can't really stay the same. So you're either going this way or that way. There's no really the same. Okay, I'm done preaching. I feel like I'm preaching. We're going to talk again next week. Oh, shoot. I have to change the time of our call for next week, so I'll let you know. I hate to do that, but I had a dermatologist appointment that's been scheduled for like 2 months, and I can't change it. So next week it's not going to be 9 a.m. It will probably be, it won't be Wednesday. Maybe I'll do 9 a.m. on Eastern. I don't know. I'll let you know. So that way you can put it on your schedule. If you can show up, great. If not, I'll record it. But we will continue branding. People want to know you, so you should be on your brand. Okay? We'll talk about more of that later. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Lee.